This beat.
I've been getting closer to God, but these people want me God by them demons from my past that I already done fought. No weapon formed against your prosper, but these weapons here ain't props. Send out little boy to the doctor, how we propped him up with shots. I don't fight no more, ain't tripping off no nigga. I don't like no more. You ain't really like that. I don't think you wanna ignite no more. Trying to keep my sin. I think I'm gonna ignite one more like. Like, bitch, I'm rolling dope shit while bro reload the whole clip. Like when you rolling roaches, trap shit, but I'm chosen. Map it, then I'm going. Give a fuck about who hoe. When I'm really popping off, you pop pussy just to know them. Like, fuck away from my bro, them. Me 6 feet like COVID. Even more if we do not know him. They trying to expose him, but who the fuck is that guy? Nah, for real, nigga. Who the fuck is that guy? Intrusive thoughts up in the spot. I need a rabbi. Somebody go and ask my pops if I was baptized. Nah, I'm just joking. Cause who the fuck is that guy? Nah, for real, nigga. Who the fuck is that guy?
Got your panties in a bunch in the rental bus and stunts. We ain't hanging with no munch. Like, who is that guy? Really keep it in the streets. We don't take them out to eat. You ain't sliding on the beef. No, you ain't that guy. We let the scrap fly. Hollows hit his backside. Caught you frontin', you ducking. Now I'm the bad guy. Like I'm the bad guy sitting in the church like, who the fuck is baptized? Intrusive thoughts, you niggas better call the deacons. I ain't saying for no reason. I'm like besties with my demons. I be speeding off the deep end like I'm tweaking for no reason. Got you gasping, got you wheezing, stomp him out till he ain't breathing.
I've been getting closer to God, but these people want me God by my demons from my past that I already done fought. No weapon formed against your prosper, but these weapons here ain't props. Send that little boy to the doctor, how we propped him up with shots. I don't fight no more, ain't tripping off no nigga. I don't like no more. You ain't really like that. I don't think you wanna ignite no more. Trying to keep my zen. I think I'm gonna ignite one more.
I know you guys seen your boy in there. I know you guys seen your man, bro. Your boy right here up in that video, man, making moves in Massachusetts, bro. All these guys. I was in prison with More Beezy, bro. Me and him were really on a tier several times, like in DDU together, you know, him watching me put in work, me watching him put in work. Like, he's a real ass dude, bro. I fuck with More, bro. How's everybody doing tonight, man? We're on a live marathon, bro. We're getting this money, man. Like, this shit's really lit, dude. Like, I love coming on here now, so I'm trying to make this a habit, bro. We're going live. This is night 3. This is the 3rd night in a row. I think that we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about. Oh, B. Luke, what's good, my dude? What's good? I'm on a live marathon, bro. This is the 3rd night in a row. We're gonna crush it. I got a good live plan, bro. I'm gonna get into some shit about Mississippi. They got this terrible place in East Mississippi, and it's just falling apart. They got guys dying and shit. So I got some information on that. But before we even do that, I'm gonna get a little bit into my DDU stories and shit. What happened behind, prison within prison. And I never made a video fully on DDU or what happens in DDU. So DDU is a place for people who kick somebody, stab somebody, move on a cop, or get in a gang fight or an STG fight that is, a DDU level. So to get a DDU, technically, it's like getting a charge inside a prison and getting a case and going to prison inside a prison. And, it's nothing to take lightly. You get years and years behind the wall. You get years and years in a hole, in a cell by yourself. And once that door closes, you're alone. You're dealing with this right here. You're going to have to figure things out for yourself. And, you're going to develop your routines and your habits. And you got to do that early on. I've seen a lot of people deteriorate. They don't, wash their clothes regularly. They build up. They don't take care of themselves, their body. They don't work out. They sleep a lot. They don't read like they should. They don't, they don't keep themselves busy like they should. What happens is, by the time they get out of there, they're either really fucked up and depressed, hearing voices, or, just overall just not doing, the way they should be doing. I made it through 10 years behind the wall there. And, that was in little, sections and shit, nonetheless. But like, I still 2 years out of whack. That's a long time. People go to county jail for 2 years at a time. You know what I mean? Like I was going to a solitary confinement cell for 2 years at a time. So, you know, that shit's fucking some real shit. But what's up, Maddie, bro? How you doing, man? Yeah, you know what? Actually, Maddie, that's a good question because tonight there's a let me fix my shit. So tonight there's in Mississippi, that East Mississippi joint. Let me get to it right now because you asked, and it's just so crazy that this place is legit. I was just about to talk about this, so might as well talk about it right now, and then we can get into doing this reaction because I got a reaction to a Mississippi prison too. So that shit's pretty fucking wild. So this is the news article though. And I got it on my computer over here too. So I'm going to put it up here. This is from the ACLU. It's news and commentary. The East Mississippi Correctional Facility is hell on earth. That's the title right there, right? Let me read it for you, right? As at the East Mississippi Correctional Facility. Now, listen, stay in your seats, right? I'm reading you something, but this is some fucked up shit, right? So, where Mississippi sends at East Mississippi Correctional Facility, where Mississippi sends some of the most seriously mentally ill people in the state prison system. Even the most troubled patients are routinely ignored, and the worst cases of self-harm are treated with certain neglect. The conditions at EMCF have cost some prisoners their limbs, their eyesight, and even their lives, right? Now, this is a mental health facility or one that they use to house mentally ill inmates, as it said, right? So in 2013, the ACLU Southern Poverty Law Center and prisoner rights attorney Elizabeth Alexander filed a class action complaint on behalf of all the prisoners held at EMCF. As the case heated up, the law firm of Covington and Burling LLP joined as co-counsel, providing major staffing and support despite years of attempts by Mississippi to derail the lawsuit before our clients even saw the inside of the courtroom. The case will finally proceed to trial on Monday. The lawsuit against EMCF describes horrific conditions at the facility, rampant violence, including by staff against prisoners, solitary confinement used to excess with particular harm to prisoners with mental illnesses, and filthy cells and showers that lack functional toilets or lights. It also sheds light on a dysfunctional medical and mental health care delivery system that puts patients at risk of serious injury and has contributed to deaths in custody. Nowhere was this institutionalized neglect more clear than in the life and death of TH, a patient at EMCF with a history of severe mental illness and self-harm. On January 31st, 2016, TH stuck glass into his arm. Instead of sending him to the emergency room, a nurse merely cleaned the wound with soap and water. The following day, he broke a light bulb and inserted the shards into his arm. This time, he required 8 stitches. Now, this is shit I've seen before. I've seen people do extreme self-injury, like pull their stomach out or rip their intestines out of cuts they put in their stomach, stab themselves in the stomach, or stuff things in their arms and their penises and things like that, right? But, you know, people do crazy things when you go in solitary confinement for long stretches, especially, right? Less than 2 weeks later, he cut himself with a blade hidden in his cell and then tried to hang himself. It was only later that month, after he reopened his arm wound with more glass, that mental health staff finally placed him on special psychiatric observation status. Yet because he wasn't properly monitored, TH's series of self-injury continued unabated until April 4th, 2016. Early that afternoon, he stuck his arm, dripping in blood, through a slot in his cell door and asked to see the warden. A lieutenant saw TH's bloody arm, but rather than call for emergency assistance, simply left the area. Hold on, let me make sure this is sharing for you guys. Yeah, okay, you guys can see this, right? Hold on, let me go back over here. So, actually, you know what? Why not keep it? So, in response, the prison warden opted to call for a canine team to enter the cell with dogs before letting medical professionals examine the patient. By then, it was too late. TH was dead. having strangled himself with materials from inside his cell. He never once had a proper suicide risk assessment or any treatment to address his self-harm. The lackadaisical and unconstitutional approach that EMCF staff takes toward prisoner health care cost his life and has caused well-documented suffering among countless other mentally ill prisoners. And it all happens in the context of a prison rife with violence, where security staff often react with excessive force to mental health crises and allow prison gangs to control access to necessities of life, including at times food. They say that they allow prison gangs to control access to necessities of life, including at times food. Holy crap. That sounds like an African third world country or something. Like, well, anyways, right? The Constitution requires that if the state takes someone into custody, it must also take the responsibility of providing treatment for their serious medical and mental health needs. This means, among other measures, hiring qualified medical staff to provide necessary care for people with mental health disorders, creating systems for access to care so sick patients can see a mental health or medical clinician, and making sure that medical care is provided without security staff impeding it. But these are things that, you know, in the max say are run of the mill. Like, you see a clinician once a month, or, you know, and everywhere in the Massachusetts DOC is, if you're in the hole and you got an SMI, you'll see him, like, if you want, up to 2 times a month or every week sometimes, right? My clinician used to come see me every week sometimes. So it depends on what your needs are, you know what I mean? Or what status, like, mental health you are. But, you know, some states aren't like that, apparently, right? And that's not to say it is good here, because Bridgewater, I've seen some barbaric treatment on mentally ill people here that is so out of line in context with this country's standards and morals that you wouldn't even think that, you know, the COs would be able to walk by as men and be like, you know, I'm not going to say anything or do anything. It's just so that bad, where you think, like, maybe I should do something right away about this, right? Because it's that fucked up. Like, people bleeding out and hanging and doing all kinds of shit. And, like, yeah. So the ACLU and our co-counsel are fighting to ensure that such care is available at EMCF, where the state of Mississippi has continued to lock some of the most vulnerable prisoners in dangerous and filthy conditions and deny them access to constitutionally required mental health and medical care. If there's not prisoners around, like legal beagles and shit, that file lawsuits for the prisoners on behalf of the prisoners, or like help them do the footwork, and even give them the confidence to let them know, like, you can do this, you can file a lawsuit, it's not that much work, like, I know how to do it here, do this, then, you know, they get away with murder, right? People don't do something about it. You don't say anything, you don't file a lawsuit, nothing happens, nothing changes, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Especially when no one in there has real important family members that can get things done and shit, right? So at that time, we were horrified. This is the ACLU, Gabriel Eber, and 2 medical and mental health experts. At that time, we were horrified to discover that Mississippi's designated mental health prison was closer to a vision of hell on earth than a therapeutic treatment facility. That's these pictures down here. That's this right here, right? Look at that. That's like the deterioration. That's one of the medical rooms, probably like a protocol room where they bring you in for the nurse to see you or something, like off one of the units. Like, that's some trashy ass place right there. Like, how do you let that fall apart like that? Damn. When I walk into the solitary confinement units, the entire place reeked of smoke from the recent fires. I tried to speak to patients about their experiences, but I could barely hear them over the sounds of others moaning and screaming while they slammed their hands into metal cell doors. Despite repeated warnings from nationally renowned experts brought in to assess conditions at the prisons, a meeting with the top Mississippi Department of Corrections officials, and an offer by the ACLU to help the MDOC pay to diagnose and fix the problems at EMCF, Mississippi, officials permitted these conditions to continue unabated. Rather than take responsibility for fixing this prison, these officials merely switched contractors. In 2012, they swapped out private prison giant CEO Group, Inc., and replaced them with another private prison company. See, them private prisons are out of line, man. They're so unregulated, like they have no oversight, and I think it's horrific for people who are money hungry, money grubbing corporate assholes to have power over people with the rights equal to that of slaves, basically. Like they have no like voice, so they're like, yeah, like we could get away with whatever we want, you know what I mean? But managing and training court, which is perhaps best known for its horrific record of abusing and neglecting immigrant detainees. Oh man. uh the state has also switched prison medical contractors multiple times with little improvement from one to the next. That's similar across the board and everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, they're always switching the medical providers from WellPath, cortisone, mass health or mass something back in the day. I forget the first one that we had, but there was so many different ones since I was there. But yeah, that was it right there. So but the nightmare might soon be over. Over 7 years since we first visited the cesspool that is EMCF, our clients will be allowed in court for the first time, asking that their constitutional rights finally be recognized, that the recognition won't undo the great harms they've suffered, but by fulfilling the Constitution's promise of protection, we can stop new harms and horrors at EMCF, of which there have been too many for too long. I mean, it sounds real good, and it always does. Oh shit! Someone dropped the super chat. I appreciate that. Hold on, let me check this out real quick. How's everybody doing tonight, man? Brian McGowan, bro, I appreciate that, my friend. I woke up. It says I woke up with a surprise money ache in my account. I did 10 years. I did some hard times similar to you. It took years, but now I'm 50 and a successful single dad to the best 8-year-old daughter in the world. I hope this helps you. Brian, $25 is an amazing help. For sure, this helps me. So appreciation. 100%, my friend. Thank you so much. And that was a thoughtful comment too. 10 years in the joint. I remember sitting in a paddy wagon one time and I was doing county time still, right? I hadn't got state time yet. And I was with this dude from my area and he was going back upstate. And I was asking him, I'm like, yo, like you're going back upstate. I'm like, how much time did you do? And he said, I did 10 years. I said, you did 10 years? I said, how long were you out for? He said, about 6 months. So you were out for 6 months after 10 years. And now you're going back. I said, wow, bro, I could never imagine doing 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking in my young mind, like, whoa, you know, but it happens, dude. And then once it does, there's no turning back. You know what I mean? You just have to look forward and fucking, you know, grit your teeth and straighten your spine and fucking buck up. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? You learn the convict code. You learn how to move inside the walls. You know what I mean? And it starts young too. Like you idolize before you're ever even in prison, even as youth. We idolize gangsters. We idolize cowboys like Billy the Kid. You know, wow, I idolize all these guys. And I can't even remember their names right now. I'm fucking having a brain fart. That's what smoking weed does to you. Wow, Jesse James, all the great cowboys, dude, right? But that was my idols growing up. And it was like, man, I know my mindset, like just right from the start was, you know, I'm a cowboy, I'm a gangster, you know what I mean? And that was fun to me. That was but tell me it wasn't like even when, you know, Al Capone, all these people were out, like that was very glamorized. You know what I mean? Like people really looked up to these guys. Like these are the people they looked up to, especially young kids. So, you know, going into prison, it was just like, you know, now you're living the life for real. Like this is that life that you see in movies. This is the life that you see on TV, but it isn't quite like that. You know what I mean? This is real life. This is that real shit. And then when it hits you, you know, I say when you get it the first time I got a DDU sentence, right? I got 18 months, or no, sorry, I got 8 months for stomping out this kid named Donnie Diamond, right? This kid, Donnie Diamond, he was a big gahoot. I had been selling Suboxone inside the walls to certain people, and he was one of them because he had money. You know what I mean? Him and his cellmate, also another Donnie doing a life sentence. We called him DNA Donnie. Oh man, shout out, salute to DNA Donnie up there from Worcester. I know if anybody's watching and they know DNA Donnie, you know why we call him DNA Donnie is because his case was like, you know, a dude was thrown over a bridge with his pants around his ankle, and they found his DNA, you know, up the old prison suitcase, and you know, but the dude was murdered, and he was, they say, you know, that was all consensual. He died, whatever. How, I don't know how he died, right? But whatever. It was just that's DNA Donnie, but that was his cellmate. But it wasn't like rape thing. It was just some weird kind of like, you know, he was gay, whatever. But that was him. So, anyways, right? They were cellmates, but this kid, I gave him something. He owed me $40, something real light. And I'm like, you know, you're gonna have that money, bro. Like, there's nothing, you know what I mean? I didn't even think twice because he had been paying me on time all the time. So on like, you know, the day it was getting close to the time where I'm like, you know what, this kid's dicking me around. It's been a couple of days longer than I'm supposed to wait. And so I go to him. I'm like, bro, listen, I need that money. But I was like, you know what? There was something that happened. They called us all down to the IPS office because they said we were kicking people off our table in that section of the chow hall, which we were. We kicked a few people off because we had this like straggler table over here in the corner, which our tables surrounded. So you had this weirdo table right here and all our tables right here. So we were like, you know what? You guys don't sit there no more. You guys go over there. And then we had other people sit there, and some people got disgruntled about it. And somehow we ended up in the IPS office, and we thought that this old man over here told on us because someone said they heard him on the jack, right? But that was totally untrue. And I got to the bottom of it, and it turns out that this kid Donnie Diamond was snitching, and he owed me money, and so I stomped him out. Long story short, I stomped him out pretty bad in the tier. Like, the kid was slipping in his own blood. Like, it was a pretty bad one. Like, his lips were all, his face was just demolished, right? And we went to, after I go to the hole, I go up there. My foot was all smashed up. That was the beginning of the lawsuit for my foot, because my foot, that was like one of the initial real bad injuries that happened to my foot that caused me to need surgery on it and all that, right? My foot was bad, banged up. At that time, I kicked the kid so hard that day, like that my toe forced back so hard that it split in between my toes, the web of my feet right here. And I needed like stitches in between my toes and shit because of it. That kid was fucked up, bro. Like, I just remember being like, damn, I beat that kid's ass. My hands were on my hips. You can see me walking around in the video, my hands on my hips, and one of my fucking shoes came off because I couldn't even keep my foot in my shoe. It hurt so bad. I kicked him so hard in the face. I pulled his shirt over his head like this, and then I put the fringe of it underneath his neck, and I pulled it up like that, and just boom, both them. And sorry, I'm glorifying, right? But you know, sometimes I get into it a little bit like that. I don't mean to do that, man. You know what? That's just, but it is, you know what? We watch mixed martial arts, we watch boxing, we watch fighting, and we talk about the fights after, like, yeah, he did this. These are just fights that happen in prison. It's all mutual combat. You know what I mean? So why not? I'm talking about it. I'm glorifying it. I won, so I can, motherfucker, right? I'm sure that the fights, the one fight I lost, the kid Bird, he's out there telling people how he beat up a big ass white dude that, you know, never took a loss before. So, you know what? They're glorifying my loss. I'll glorify my wins, right? So, check it out, right? So I get to where am I at now? Oh yeah, I'm getting sent to DDU, right? I go to see the board. The board's like, you know what? You know, this is my first DDU ticket on this bid. So this is my second sentence. I already did 6 years. I went home, but on my first sentence, they weren't giving DDU tickets out the whole time. I was catching DDU worthy tickets because of the double bunking crisis. And during double bunking, they weren't giving no DDU tickets because they knew everybody was trying to dodge this double bunking riots and go to DDU and be in a single cell and be like, yep, you guys can fight for it. I'll be in DDU with my legs up, because that shit was a lot of headaches, bro, and it was a lot of danger. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm a Christian. I am a Christian, 100% fact. And you know what? I don't go anywhere without the word right next to me, bro. I got it right here next to me. But and that it stays next to me too. And I'll be at the end. Believe me, I'm gonna read some of it. But So check it out, right? I get 8 months. The DDU board officer, Razor, what's good, bro? Yeah, hell yeah, man. Glorified, bro. Glorified. That's why it says it right here on my neck, blood and glory. I was a savage dude behind the wall, but everybody was aiming to be that man. You know what I mean? I wasn't the only one. I just feel like I might have been better at it than some people. You know what I mean? And after when you go in at such a young age and you get that respect from the older convicts for being that wild dude that will crush the guy that needs to get crushed and nobody else wants to do it, and you're that dude that's knocking them out and making a show and like getting your rep up and your name, like people remember that shit and they respect it, bro. And it you makes you feel a certain type of way inside. And so you're constantly seeking the approval of these OGs and these other cats that are doing real time and that have been through some serious shit and actually, you know, hawk some shit down, maybe even caught an institutional murder or whatever. And you got to hold your own weight with these guys. You're contending with real murderers, bro. Like all my friends, everybody I grew up with, all these kids are real killers. Like they really were in the trenches. They really are in prison, you know, body and shit. Like back in the day, like the people, the older dudes, especially the OGs I was with, like these dudes are certified motherfuckers, bro. Like they will take you out. And you know, at being a young kid going in there, and dad, man, I was in a maximum security state prison, the notorious max in Massachusetts, Susan Baranowski. And yeah, maybe we sit here and we talk about it's hyped up or whatever, right? But is it hyped up? I mean, we think it's hyped up because we're in there, right? And we all are so tough, right? That we're, you know, any type of acting like it is tough while we're in there is being scared or, you know, you know, being fake or something. But think about it for real. The gangs, if you go against one of these gangs, you're gonna get smashed out, stabbed, or hurt, or maybe killed, right? If you go against a real serious white dude, you're gonna get stabbed or maybe killed, right? Um, if you step out of line of the convict code, you're gonna get really hurt. You know what I mean? The COs, if you go against them, you're gonna get really hurt. This is a serious place, bro. I don't care what anybody says, bro. You go to the max in Massachusetts, you go to SBCC. There's no guarantees whether you leave there. You know what I mean? The same way you went in anyway, right? You have to be a strong-minded individual, bro. But when I got that my first 8 months in DDU, I go to the hole and I'm up in the hole for 30 days. And because I worked the system in such a way that I was able to convince him I was not mentally stable enough to be forced into a segregation cell for that many years at a time. So they sent me to this place called the Secure Treatment Program. And when I was and that's a DDU wing, but it's in the max still, right? I don't have to go to Walpole. It's in the max, and it's got privileges that they don't have in DDU. Good privileges. I can order coffee. I can get coffee the day I walk through the door. Matter of fact, the first time I hit STP, one of the COs, Anderson, an older CO named Anderson, right? He had been around for a grip. He was there on my first bid. Came to my door, looked like this, and slid me a bag of coffee. I felt so suspect taking that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? This dude just gave me a bag of coffee. I felt like a fucking snitch or some shit. I'm like, why is this dude giving me coffee? I felt like giving it back. Be like, Anderson, come back here right now. I do not want this. Why are you giving me this? But that's what they did up there. It was like they had caches of food and canteen items that we could order with our points. So if we go to groups and programs and shit, they would give us points, right? And with these points, we could go and we could buy canteen items like chips, soap, shampoo, deodorant, candy bars, chicken, protein shakes, whatever. You know what I mean? You could buy whatever you want every Friday, right? Every Friday night. You would get your points throughout the week for going to programs so that they can get some of these really seriously mentally ill people who didn't have money or anything. They gave them an incentive to get up out of their bed and go to the programs. You know what I mean? Because some of these people would not leave their cells unless you did this, right? And so you had to give them a reason to get out of their cells. And that's why I said that it is like torture for some of these convicts, because some of these dudes ain't fit for life in general, let alone a solitary confinement cell for many years. I've seen guys up there in those solitary confinement cells in the STP for 5 to 7 to 10 years at a time. Eddie Ramirez being one. And I did a video on him, the Latino Heat. He sat up there for a good 10 years at least, right? Like lost his damn marbles if he had any in the first place. But it is cruel. It can be cruel, I believe, anyway, right? I was up there for that first 8 months was smooth for me. I didn't get any tickets. I got on my phase 3 and I got my privileges, right? Now, these are the best privileges there is. The best one, the gym, the weight room. And in your phase 3, you could go to the yard and the gym, right? And you're not contending with anybody for the weights because there's only like 3 or 4 people, most maybe 5. At one time, I think there was 7 dudes going with me from that tier that were all on phase at the same time. But typically, someone will get into a fight and they'll take them off a phase. Those 2 people are gone, or they'll get in trouble. They'll get taken off a phase or whatever it is, right? They get taken off a phase. And dude, I've had some bumpy roads through these SDP times. Trust me, stick around. This is going to be some crazy stories. Someone asked me what the best times I had in prison were. Well, some of them were in the SDP because like in Bridgewater, you got mentally ill people. And that's not to say I'm laughing at them. Sometimes I was laughing with them. Like they were my comrades. They were convicts like me, but just had serious mental illnesses. And I'm not the type of person that will treat somebody with serious mental illnesses like they're some type of fucking sex offender or a fucking rat or some shit just because they have mental illnesses. Like these kids they're decent people, but they just lost. They don't know. Like sometimes they hear voices, but they're really kind. Like a lot of times they're really kind people, but there's a lot of them. There's so many more than you would possibly think. And when you go to DDU, like these kids, they move on motherfuckers. Like some of them are up there for stabbing people, dicing people, hitting them with hot water and killing them. Like this old man, this old Cuban guy, he's got mental illness. He hears voices and he's paranoid, right? But he was in Old Colony. I think it was Old Colony or Gardner, one of them. And he walked up to this dude while he was at the tables and he poured a steaming pot of oil, boiling oil on the guy, melted the dude's skin off. Like he killed him. The dude died from the burns. Like he didn't live. I don't know if it was directly from the burns or from shock, or if the dude did something a little further that I couldn't understand because he was hard to understand. He didn't speak good English. But it's people like that up there that were up there. That dude was doing, I think he got 6 years and 5.5 years he got for the death of that person. But then you had, guys that didn't leave up there, that they were categorized up there because their mental illness status was so severe that they were afraid of their own to be out in population. Like they had delusions so they could move on COs. So like all the time, this kid was up here for moving on COs. Like they would give him a few weeks and then boom, he's hopping on another CO at the desk, right? And he's back up there. And they would just keep him up there. He wouldn't even get charges or nothing, right? And I remember him telling me one time that they let him out on parole. He said, yeah, man, they let me out on parole. Oh, shit, fuck the demons, bro. Word, good looks, bro. Facts, my dude. Word. That's what's up, my dude, bro. I appreciate that, my friend. Everybody hit that like button for him in my video, too. Yeah, bro, so this kid, he told me, he said, yeah, man, he said, they've called me up for the parole board. It was the FBI. They were undercover. He said, so I had to hit him with some kung fu. He said, I jumped over. He's like, I knocked the first one out with a karate chop right to the neck, man. He said, took him right out. I'm like, oh, shit, man. I said, you have to do what you got to do sometimes, bro. But he was a really funny dude, bro. Really kind-hearted, man. He was stuck in the solitary confinement wing, bro. His name is Dennis. And he was a black dude, bro. He was in there for some serious shit, bro. Dude was a very, very dangerous man. He was a straight up thoroughbred killer, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the dude was a dangerous dude, bro. but he was like the kindest, nicest person you could ever imagine. Like, it was the weirdest thing, but he had mental illness, bro. And that's sometimes what you get is you get mixed pot. Like, you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? But yeah, good old Dennis, man. Big heart he had, you know. And you know, I met some of the best people I met up there, you know, but you know, my boy Richie Baldwin, he was up there. He was in old Walpole, right? Back in the old Walpole days. Richie Baldwin, he got into a beef with the COs. So him and this other dude, I forget, I think it was who was it? Who, if anybody's in the chat right now and knows Richie Baldwin's co-defendant, it was a black dude, I believe it was, but it was like a real ass dude, bro. I forget his name, but big dude. But they stomped the CO out. Richie was climbing up the stairs, right? Climbing up, like, I think it was like 6 or 7 stairs in the Walpole stairs. And nah, not Richie Allison. It was Richie Baldwin. Richie Allison is Jerry's co-defendant. But and good, shout out to Richie Allison too. Richie Allison was a solid certified dude, bro. He almost escaped from the max. That was a good one right there, bro. Richie Allison almost got away from the max. He was the only guy that ever almost escaped from the max on some like real like James Bond shit. I know you remember that shit too, Bats. You gotta remember that. I'll tell that story in a minute too. But I forget actually the story I was just telling too. Oh, Richie Baldwin. Oh, he was jumping up and he was running up the stairs, jumping off the stairs onto the cop's head. Bro, they gave him 7 years in DDU. They almost unalived that CO. That was a brutal one. And then there was, yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy, bro. I think it was Boss, something Boss or Pod, no, I forget his co-defendant on that DDU ticket. But there was some real serious. Paul Allen was up there, the one who got the boogeyman. If anybody knows about the boogeyman, right? So the boogeyman is basically any escapes out of Old Colony. If I remember correctly, I don't remember any escapes happening out of Old Colony, but I do remember escapes happening out of Concord. So there's this dude who climbed out the window. He was an older white guy. He climbed out one of the windows. He got out of the window somehow, and he got up on the roof, and he climbed up along the roof and somehow got over the wall. And he got away, but he ended up getting caught a little bit later on and got an extra couple years on his bid for that shit. But that was back in like the 90s when that happened. There's been a few different escapes, but like Richie Allison, I'll tell you the escape of Richie Allison. So Richie Allison, for years, he would do, you know, sit-ups, crunches out on the rec deck. He would hit the bars and do those like hanging leg raises. And he wanted his abs, like, all he did was his abs, and then he would go to the yard and he would run. Like this motherfucker ran like Forrest Gump, right? I used to be like, Richie, man, you're so skinny, dude. Like, what are you trying to do? Fit through the cracks? Like, because we all knew we wanted to escape. It was like Richie's thing. Like Richie said, one day I'm gonna get out of here. Like, I'm gonna escape, you know? And you know, sure enough, he had been sitting there working on, it was on P1, and he'd been on the yard side rec deck. So on P blocks in the max, the rec decks face the yard. So when you're on P1 or P2, anybody out there that's on the rec deck can talk to anybody that's out in the yard. And that's how we pass kites and drugs and shit, is through the fence from the yard to the rec deck and shit, right? And or, you know, whatever, we talk to each other and we get to see people we haven't seen in a long time. It's really a much needed break. Whenever I go out there, I used to be able to see my brother, see all the guys from P1 and P2, maybe guys that got out of the hole, you haven't seen them for years. It was always all right. Going out there was always like a gamble. You didn't know who you were going to see. Someone you had smoke with, and you'll be like, yo, get this dude off that deer, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro. So he was on P1. Damn, bro. I forget what the fuck I was just talking about. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, we're going to be moving on because Paul Allen. Let me tell you about Paul Allen. Oh, no, Richie Allison. Yeah. So Richie Allison was cutting the cage. So he was cutting the rec deck cages, each little bar. So the bars are spaced about this far apart on the rec deck. They're very, very close together, like that, right? And he cut each little bar, each little one, until there was a square about as big as his body. You know what I mean? And he could just pop it out, and it was all cut right to the very edge. So like each little one, he cut all the way through on most of them, and then left like a bunch of them just barely cut, like so you could just tap it and bang it out, right? So he does this, but he made a rope ladder so that he could throw it over the razor wires, and also there's an electric fence that sets the lights off, and I think a silent alarm maybe. But he had some other shit that he was bringing with him to get over these fences and these obstacles. But by the time he got out there, he realized he didn't bring his damn rope ladder. So he turned around and went to go back in, but it was already past count time. And when he went to go back in, he was locked out on the rec deck. And so he just had to wait there for them to come get him and just be like, yeah, you got me. Bro, poor Richie, bro, worked on that for years, dude. Then he went to DDU for that for 5 years. And he got, I don't know what they gave him for on after his sentence, but they definitely sent him to DDU on that shit. That motherfucker, right? But yeah, man. So I'm up in the STP for 8 months. That first time I got my phase 3, I hit the gym. I started working out real tough. I had a good routine going. And I don't remember any specific events coming after that, because there was a few times that I was up there where I knew I was coming out to a war. Like there was dudes that I was going to have to take aside, and then I was going to have to get it in. And so I knew I had to be in top shape, like tip top shape. And I spent my entire DDU sentence like crushing my body. Like I would spend the whole hour of rec shadow boxing, doing combinations on the rec deck, back and forth on the rec deck, back and forth, working on my footwork and working on my hands, right? And I did a good job. I was so lightning fast. I could kick somebody and punch somebody in a matter of a split second so hard they would be off their feet. Like it would be just like a white powder cloud, just poof. Like, dude, I was really a beast, bro. No bullshit. I'm not even trying to gas myself up, but even my friends who were with me when I would get out of DDU like that, they would tell you, like, word, my boy Kenny Parker was down there. Like, he seen me, like, I come out, like, in tip-top shape. I go up there. I get on my workout shit. I eat real healthy. I make my little homebrew, and I get my little homebrew coming off every few days so I can get drunk while I'm in solitary confinement doing my whole bid. The cops, usually I'll have a rapport with the cops that worked on the tiers. In STP, there was the cop Vlad. Vlad was a cool ass dude, bro, right? He knew like I was making my booze. He knew, what time it was. Actually, on 4th of July one year, Vlad and another cop came to search my cell, and I was just about to strain my batch and come off my batch. And they came over to search my cell. And when they got to my cell, I'm like, yo, they had me out on the table, the thing, and Vlad was next to me, and there was the Asian dude in my cell, Choi, I think his name was, right? I hated this motherfucker, bro. But you know what? He pulled the shit out, looked right at the batch, looked at me, and then shook his head, pushed it back in, and walked out. Like, happy 4th of July, motherfucker. We just granted you your first blessing. You know what I mean? Nah, you know what? Someone escaped from Walpole, right? It was from the hospital though, right? So he stabbed himself, but it was like a fake stabbing, right? He planned it out. He had his boy act like he stabbed him in a fight or whatever, but like he couldn't prove it or anything. He just stabbed himself and then made it look fucking weird, so he had to get taken out, right? But back in the day in Walpole, they used to come up to the exit door in the back of the unit for whatever block you were on with the ambulance if you were going to take an ambulance ride, and they would take you from there. So they come to the back of the block, they pick him up in the ambulance, and they take him to the hospital, right? And when he gets to the hospital, his girlfriend pops out with guns, bro, holds them up, gets this dude a gun, and they take off in the blaze of glory and get the fuck out of there. But then there's been another time where a dude went to Walpole and was in the back of the paddy wagon and he went to the Shattuck. he was in the back of the paddy wagon and he got out of the back of the paddy wagon and ran away. But yeah, never. I don't think ever directly straight from Walpole though. You know what I mean? Like right out over the wall type, like James Bond shit. You know what I mean? Peter Macy first escaped 71 out of Walpole, never been caught. Wow, look at that. That's a fact right there that I never knew. Thank you, Bats. I appreciate that. Peter Macy first escape in 71 out of Walpole, never been caught. What about that? Yo, so I feel like I want to keep telling STP stories, and that's definitely some good stories, bro, out of STP. But I want to get into a little yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into this little video on Mississippi real quick, and we'll get back into the DDU stories afterwards. Unless you guys are absolutely choosing, like you guys are like, nah, fuck Mississippi. I want to hear more about DDU or STP. Most iconic gang to come out of Boston, my guy. Come on. All right. Before I even screen share, let's do that. Let's do this. The Boyos are the most iconic. Hold on. Can you guys hear me and everything? You guys hear me good right now? Hold on. Hello? Yeah, you guys can hear me, right? So the most iconic gang to come out of Boston is the Boyos. We are the only gang to be only in Massachusetts, right? We have all solid top tier guys that could be each one of us could be a poster child for our crew, right? Like we're all really top tier guys, or solid dudes, right? We are the dominant gang in the Max, and in the only Max in Massachusetts, which is Sousa Baranowski. We run the Max for white dudes, right? And we've had opposition and crushed it in the past several times. So we are the established dominant presence in Massachusetts. And as far as iconic goes, come on, we're Boston. We are Boston. There's nothing outside. We're Massachusetts, anyways. Like there's guys from Worcester, Charlestown, Fall River. Me, I'm from the Cape. There's people from different areas, but like when we go into the state prison system, it's like we pick from the elite of the elite. It's not like, oh, you're from where? Nah. We look at how you act, how you move, the solidarity of, your character, and based on whether you're someone who is willing to be that guy who moves for his friends or not. Like if you're willing to put in work for your friends, like, and it's not always easy. You know what I mean? In theory, you think like, oh, if I was in prison, I could do that. But like in all reality, think about it. Put yourself in these shoes real quick right now, right? You're in prison. You're with me. See this cell behind me? We're all sitting at this cell. We're sitting on the bunk. We're sitting on the locker, and we're talking. This dude's got to go. He's no good. He's got to go, right? Like here's the jump off, bro. It's got to be you and him. I got the store going, or I got a bunch of strips coming in the thing, and that's gonna benefit us all. I can't go. I can't leave. He's got this going on. It's got to be you, right? You and you. Bro, tie them shoes up nice and tight. When they get you up in the IPS office after it's done, you don't say nothing. You just go to the hole, blah, blah, blah. That's it. You go put your work in, bro. Get that shit done. And make sure you bury that thing. You know what I mean? Don't be half-stepping. Bury that knife. Put that work in, push that blade. What do you do? Where's your heart at? That's a heart check right there. You know what I mean? You're going to have plenty of them throughout your prison sentence, but that's where it really comes in. And then after you do that, you're going to go to DDU. You're going to get your first DDU experience. And every young white kid coming in is most likely going to end up in DDU because we're all putting in work at some point in time. It comes to be your turn. And most people want to do that. Like a lot of these younger kids, they come in and that's the rep. Like, okay, yeah, I got my DDU sentence under my belt. Like that's just Like that's something that all the OGs got. You know what I mean? So all these kids coming in that want a reputation, they want their name to ring bells. You can't, your name don't ring bells. You haven't even got a DDU, motherfucker. Like, you know, put some work in, do some time in the box. Like, your name don't ring, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's just how it was for me and shit. But let's look at this Mississippi thing real quick, right? This is a video on Mississippi prison. It's only short video. Oh, all right, right here, I think. Yep, this is it. All right, right here. Boom, you guys see this, right? This is Mississippi prison, bro. This shit is fucking wild out here, man. Let's get this reaction in.
I've been through a lot of experiences in prison, and then no lie, is one of the scariest experiences of my life. I mean, something out of a movie. Something literally out of a movie. Just waking up, hearing grown men screaming. If you ever hear a grown man cry, not only cry, but screaming, pain, they scared.
This shit already sounds crazy as hell, right? Damn, you hear him screaming?
Reports of another deadly riot at the Mississippi State Penitentiary in Parchman tonight.
5 inmates dead, several more injuries in incidents that have happened behind bars.
If you haven't seen these sights right here, these sights and these sounds, then you ain't never seen a real crazy prison.
This week.
I've heard stories about Parchman. Parchman's no joke. This has been, you know, this is one of those like legendary prisons right here, Parchman.
At Parchman, a massive prison complex made up of 20 inmate units on 18,000 acres. The beatings, stabbings, and brawls spread across multiple buildings in a part of the prison inmates can only describe as hell on earth. Parchman's Unit 29.
I was actually laying in my bed, and I was listening to music, and I was hearing someone holler, 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 holler. And I asked my neighbor, I was like, "Dang, bro, you hear that?" And I was like, "Bro, like, something ain't right."
Trevante Riley, who was in for drug possession and parole violations, got caught right in the middle of Unit 29's gang war.
I get my phone, I call over to the next building, I'm like, "What's going on?" They were like, "Oh, it's going up." Someone.
Yo, first of all, bro, if you follow my channel, Matthew McLean, I know you, Matty, bro. I'm not saying it like that, bro. If you follow my channel, you know I already did a reaction video on the whites and the Spanish dudes that fought in the gym, bro. I was in the prison at that time, so I did a reaction that was on my boys, bro. But yeah, maybe go back and watch it. But yeah, let's get this.
Went through the mat outside the bars, and they set it on fire. When he set it on fire, a lot of the trash had caught on fire, and when it caught on fire, it was smoking us out. And we was trying to get someone to come in and help with. So I grabbed my phone. I was like, "Man, I'm finna go live."
With his smuggled cell phone, Trevante started live streaming the unit on Facebook.
Yo, see, that's the differences right now of like these new age prisons and all that shit down south where you can have cell phones and shit. Like, we didn't have cell phones, but if you could and you could live stream when it goes down like this, bro, that'd be everything. Look at this, bro.
We got a whole fight going on down here in Florida, man. I can't even breathe, man. Day my daughter's birthday, no way I got that like this. Unit 29 it's like a death place. Like, you survive or you don't.
Over the course of several days, videos and images leaked out of Parchman, showing the horrific, everyday reality of Unit 29.
This is our living condition. Can't use the bathroom. Can't drink no water.
Oh, that is so wild, bro. They don't even have water and shit like that. When up here, if they don't have water, they'll come and bring at least water, like big jugs with water in it and shit. Like, it might not be clean, but it'll be at least water, bro. But that's some wild shit, bro. You see how dirty it is? Holy shit, bro. Like, where's the COs? I haven't even seen one CO.
Work. None of this shit works. Garbage all backed up.
Look at that mold. Can't even drink clean water. How we supposed to drink water?
No sheet to lay on, no mat, no toothbrush, no soap, no food.
This is what we live in Parchman, Mississippi State
Yo.
Penitentiary, Unit 29. MSP 29 right here. Look at this shit.
These videos and images went viral, and Unit 29, which was once a black hole in rural Mississippi, hit the airwaves of every major news network and national newspaper.
Inmates using contraband cell phones allegedly shot these images.
And we won't be silent anymore. Be silent anymore.
All right, first and foremost, I understand cell phones are not allowed in the Mississippi Department of Corrections, but thank God they were.
Right, yo, amen for that, right, bro? This man speaks the truth, bro. I wish we had cell phones in the max when they were coming through after that Spanish fight, or when my brother got into the fight with the COs. Like after that time period when those cops went super rogue in the max, like this shit could have been come in handy, bro. But look it.
Right, because we've seen some stuff. They can't hide.
The prison tries to prevent anyone from contacting inmates on contraband cell phones with jammers. They mess with the frequency. But we tracked down someone still living inside the infamous Unit 29. We're calling him Inmate X to protect his identity. Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. You're in Unit 29, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about the
Unit 29. That sounds like some like fucking horror film shit, right? Like Unit 29. Like, yo, that's some wild shit. I never seen any footage like that coming out of prison. Like, I never knew this video existed. Like, this is a pretty good video right here. Shout out to Vice, man. Fucking, they made an amazing video. They come out with some great shit. But
conditions.
It's the only prison I've been in. It rained and it rained in your state. I mean, the rats, the roaches. We saw a snake at the bottom here a couple weeks ago. It's a lot of different problems.
So you're talking about like there's standing water under your bed, at least in your last cell, with like rats running through it?
Literally, rats all night, every night. Yeah, every single night.
damn, yeah, there's rats in some prisons, but that's disgusting right there. Look at that. There's running water. That's what makes it disgusting in my eyes. But yo, Lee Medeiros, bro, word, bro, right? The cell jammers in the max make it difficult because as soon as someone really uses a cell phone to make a call or anything like that, I think it sets the alarms, the body alarms of the COs on that unit off. So it basically freezes it up. So they'll call a freeze all movements, clear all airwaves and intercoms. We have an emergency, freeze all movements. Like that's what happens when you use a cell phone up here. And if it keeps on happening on one unit, and there's nothing going on, there's no fights and shit, they realize that it's a cell phone and they'll come and sweep the place. But
you see rats galore everywhere.
Like they go up on your bed and stuff?
Yes, they will get in the bed with you. No one in this prison is treated like they're human.
It's not just inmates' accounts. The state health department reported extensive problems throughout Parchman, ranging from no electricity to broken toilets and collapsing ceilings. Unit 29 in particular has twice as many citations as all other Parchman units combined.
Look at the trash. Do you see that?
See that shine right there? Photo contaminated building.
Prisons are criticized every day in America, but Parchman caught the attention of Jay-Z. He teamed up with rapper Yo Gotti and filed 2 lawsuits against the Mississippi Department of Corrections, or MDOC. We sat down with Yo Gotti at our offices in early March. What was different about Parchman to you where you said, I got to get involved?
And people dying. One of the things that pushed me forward is just knowing, again, there could be.
Bro, shout out to this dude for doing that, bro. I feel like if more rappers and people with big names and platforms stepped up to the plate and spoke up for us, like imagine how powerful that could be for us. You know what I mean? Imagine how much they could actually get done for us. I feel like they make America, they push America right now. Like social media and like all the like rappers, famous Hollywood, all these people right now, they push America, like especially these famous rappers. If they were to stand up and say we want change in these prisons with the power that their money carries, I think they could actually get it done.
Any one of our family members that's in that same prison, even if they committed a crime, right? It still don't mean you can treat them like animals and put them in inhumane conditions.
What do you think the solution here is?
You know, whether it's shutting the whole thing down and moving them into a better facility or getting it right. One or the other. Our only concern is making sure the prisoners are getting treated like humans.
Many inmates here have been locked up in other prisons. Parchman, they say, is different. It's the one place their grandparents warned them about. It's not a place that will correct you, but it could end you. State Representative Robert Johnson argues that's partly because of the prison's shameful past, deeply rooted in the racist foundation of this state.
Before the Civil War, when plantations were thriving, they weren't incarcerating any African Americans because all of them were slaves. But the minute the Civil War was over and African Americans were free, Parchman was built where plantations existed.
Yeah, I think that's just, I'm not going to do the whole video. I just wanted to get in some of that screen, the live footage from inside the joint. I thought it was pretty wild, and with the information that I read about East Mississippi, that Parchman shit, I thought it fit right in with that. So that was that right there. But so I think I don't know. It's 7:25, guys. It's mad late. I think that concludes the live for tonight, guys. It's a marathon. I'm pretty much going live every night for next week, for the rest of these days of this week. Please share that information. Support this live marathon week. I know I sometimes am not the smartest in fucking, beautifully speaking human being, but shit, man, I'm out here grinding, trying to, make something happen and make some quality, fun, entertaining content and bring some memories back for guys and, just building a community and just chilling, man. Like, you guys all coming here. I know you love this shit. I know we're all kicking it, like having a good time, bro. It's not like this is hard to do, bro. Hit them like buttons, hit the subscribe, hit the share. To encourage more people to come in here and get this chat turned up, because it's always better when mad people show up and are in the chat and shit, like, you know what I mean? And everybody's going back and forth and I got questions coming in. But also, let me answer. I was up there with Paulie Vallejo. Yeah, I was. A couple of my boys ended up moving on him and shit and whatever, but that's the type of thing that happens up there. And I do actually like Paulie Vallejo. He's a decent dude. I was in Dartmouth with him right before I got out this last time. He was back in there saying he had cancer in his belly and shit, and they were sending him back up north for another bid for a fentanyl case. But God bless him. I'll pray for him and everybody still behind the wall. Like it says in the beginning of this video on the thing, like, we remember the people behind the wall, bro. So salute to everybody still suffering behind the wall. Salute to everybody still going through the struggle of incarceration with their loved one who is locked up behind the wall. If you have somebody that's locked up, a loved one that's behind the wall right now, I will definitely try to, round up support for them. If that's something that you would like to do, you could drop their information in the live chat, drop their information in the comments, and I'll put their information in the descriptions of my videos and see if we can get legal organizations to go write them or visit them. If they need legal help, we could post it on my community tab, or however we can help. You know what I mean? However the W number can help, I'm open. I'm here to help. I'm here to help with anything I can. You know what I mean? Anything my platform offers value to you for, then that's what it's about. I love getting these stories in, man. DDU is definitely a complicated place, something that we can't talk about all in one video. Obviously, we've already been here for a grip, and I still haven't got it all in. But yeah, man, how you guys feeling about this live marathon thing, man? You guys loving it? Like I am? I'm fucking with it, bro. I'm feeling it, not having to edit videos, bro, because let me tell you something. I spend a lot more time with my girl and being able to relax when I go live. and just tell my stories on the lives. And it's a good show. You know what I mean? It's always a good show. It's entertaining just like the rest of them. But I do like the edited videos and good interviews, good reaction videos and all that. And it's definitely going to continue to happen. I'm still on my reaction videos. I'm still on my interviews. It's just this week alone, this week is my live marathon week. And I've never done it before. So I figured, fuck it. This is where it's at. And this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, man. Word. Thank you, Bruce Wayne, Mr. Freedom, K Razy. Hell yeah. Bro, we out here chilling, listening. K Razy, it's great. The lives are dope. Fact, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all the support, guys. You already know, man. That's what it's all about, bro. This is a community we're building here, man. This is a community. Do both, baby. You already know. Hit that and get hit up. What about Annie Lisa? Oh, Annie Lisa. So I don't know. If you want to tell Annie Lisa to come into my chat and or do something, I don't know how to get in touch with. Actually, you know what? I'll talk to you a little bit more about it. Right? I think I want to. I definitely would like to get her up here on a live. That would be great. If anybody wants to come in on an open panel at 7:30 right now, I have until 8 o'clock technically with the studio. If anybody wants to come in on an open panel, I'll drop the link right now too. Boom. That's the link right there. Hell yeah. It's like therapy for me too, bro. Word. No bullshit. Because thinking back on being in DDU and thinking back on being in prison, it's like when I got out before, what set me back was that I forgot just how bad it was. But by repeating these stories and keeping it alive, I'm never going to forget. I'm never going to be able to go home one night and forget like just how terrible I felt while I was sitting in solitary confinement and I had no control over my life. The cops are fucking with me. Fucking food sucked. I was starving. Couldn't get no money from the streets from the people that said they love me. You know what I mean? Addicted to drugs, getting in fights and all that shit. Like, prison sucks, bro. Yeah, I mean, my diet, and speaking of fasting, I fasted every Monday. I didn't eat nothing from the time I woke up until the time I went to sleep. I ate a lot of like raw chicken protein, and I got myself on this diet where it was only raw chicken and raw beef. Like I got all my shit, big piles of raw stuff, right? And by being on this specific diet, the guys in the kitchen knew my diet because I was the only person on a chicken beef diet. Like how the fuck I just said I was allergic to this and I was allergic to that, and it just so happens like there's certain shit's like everything. So it's like the prison doesn't want to do any work, so they just say chicken beef. Like okay, that sounds good to me. I'll take it, right? So they give it to me, and they know my diet, so I get special trays and shit. Like when I get to the box, like my boys that work in the kitchen and shit, people that know my name, it says my name next to this tray everywhere I go. So it's like chicken. And boom, there's Maddie's tray. Hook them up, throw some good shit in there. So I did eat good even when I was in the box, and I would get little, pieces of Suboxone and whatnot if they had it, whatever. The halal meals, I thought they were all right. They had better meat in the halal meals because they took better care of that meat. I don't know what it was about that halal meat, but I thought it was much better than the regular meat. But I thought it was better meals too. Not for nothing. Like I thought those meals were better. Yup, tuna and mackerel were huge, bro. I would eat one of those dollar mackerels with a ramen noodles after every workout. I would eat a ramen noodle with a mackerel, right? And I would eat it with no like salt. I wouldn't put the salt from the ramen in there. I would put my own seasoning. I'd put a little bit of adobo, a little bit of mayonnaise, and mix that shit, whip it up, and just eat it like that. And that it was all right enough, right? If I had cheese, I'd throw some cheese and some chips, some crumble up chips in there, and just smash it like that. But I tried to eat as healthy as I could. But in prison, you don't get the healthiest food. It's all processed, and a lot of it's like mixes with ramen and rice that are like pre-cooked and shit. So you're eating a lot of ramen, a lot of rice, a lot of cheese, a lot of like, if you eat refried beans, I mean, it's good. It's like we're adding refried beans into our prison mixes. Like, oh, this makes it healthy. Like, this is protein, but like there's so much sodium in it can kill a fucking gigantic cow. The Thai tunas are fucking bomb. Those Thai tunas were the best tuna fishes ever, bro. Hell yeah. I miss those Thai tunas, Lee. Word, bro. I don't miss them enough to go back, but I do miss them. Whole shebangs, kid. Yo, them whole shebangs were fucking. I see them out here a lot too. Whole shebangs, they're picking up out here too. People like whole shebangs on the streets. Hot hots, the hot hots, bro. Oh man, yo, those hot hots were no joke, bro. I fuck with the hot hots. Hell yeah, I like hot hots better than whole shebangs. Yo, you eat them out here? You eat them out here, Low Red Eyes? That's funny, bro, because I see them at the stores, even the same brand chips as we had in there. Like, yeah, he got him to sell them at the barbershop, bro. That's hilarious. He's got a prison store in his barbershop with honey buns and fucking what is it? Moon something. Moon something. The brand on the chips with the moon. Oh man. What's the brand on the chips? Moon Lodge potato chips. Yeah, he's got a bunch of Moon Lodge potato chips. Fucking the little tubs of cheese and the cheese bars, bro. The pepper jack cheese bars, bro. Those are good. I put those in everything. I chopped up the pepper jack cheese bars and I would like dice it up like Parmesan almost and throw that on everything. Yeah, canteen in prison. That is your life. I mean, shit, that's what you live off of. And if you're like me, I didn't eat anything but canteen in there. Nah, we didn't get Funyuns. We didn't have Moon Lodge Funyuns where I was. That wasn't on the menu. The summer sausages were. In the summer sausages, you had to get the right ones because some of them were soft and they were nasty. It was like they used too much vinegar. But if you got the right ones, they were nice and crisp. Like, yeah. And then you put the Chinese food, like you cook it like Chinese food. You put the red Kool-Aid on it and then boil it in soda with the Coca-Cola and make Chinese food with the what is it called? Beef teriyaki. Yeah, the white squeezed cheese. Queso dip. Remember the queso dip you get in the Christmas packages? Yo, those Christmas packages were bomb, bro. Remember the first year they did the Christmas packages and they came around and they were like, yo, your people can order you these things off the Christmas package. And we were all like, oh shit, yo, look at this. We're fucking gassed up, bro. You can order all these extra special things. Like it was all just normal shit you see at every gas station. But for us, it was like gold. Like, but they had special coffees and shit. Like that was the good stuff. They had like special flavored coffee and they had the Butterfinger babies, the cookies, the Butterfinger cookies. Ooh. The Nutella. Yup, Nutella. They had it in there. The Nutella. Cactus Annie's. Some tig old bit. He said Cactus and he had some tig old bitties, he said. Yeah. Ah, that's fucking great. Yup. Yo, we used to make chili dogs. Me and my boy Billy Gilmet. Shout out to Billy Gilmet, man. Salute to you, bro. That was my dog, bro. He was a beast at cooking, though. He taught me how to make the best prison food. Like, for real, that dude was a chef. Need a part mix 3 for $5. Yo, the pair of socks on Christmas. Stop it, bro. I used to go around and buy everybody's socks on Christmas. Those comfy ass brand new socks. City Cow cheese, come on, bro. Who remembers it? Everybody's got to remember City Cow cheese, bro. They had the queso dip, they had the regular cheese, they had the spicy jalapeno City Cow, and they had fucking everything. That was what came in the Christmas package, the City Cow cheese, bro. They sell that in our regular canteen. Yeah, he had the chains. Hey, he was standing there all G'd up and shit in his B-boy stance, like, yup. Straight marketing it to the minority community. They did. They took away his thugged out look, bro. That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up. You can take the city cow out of the city, but you can't take it out of the. I don't know how that would go. Whatever. Right? Well, that was really actually pretty fun, man. I'm glad I got to reminisce like that for a couple of minutes. If anybody wants, this is the last chance to leave a super chat. I'll give you 2 minutes before I end the live. And I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play another video real quick. Let me go look it up on a new tab. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna play another video. I was in another music video, but I need to find it real quick. I was in 3 music videos. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for this. This is a good video. And I'm in it. It's another one I'm in too, and it's fire, bro. I want you guys to see it. And it was at a show too. It was at a show, but he invited certain people to stay on and go in the video. Hold on, guys. I'm right here. Don't leave. I want to find this specific video, bro. Hold on, let me put this. It was at his 5-year. Damn, whatever. I'm just gonna play this. I'm gonna play this one and see if this is it. Hold on, guys. My fault. Hold on. Let's do this one.
Right to it though. Oh, Granny's house caught on fire. My brother died in it. Years later, I broke in it just to cry in it. My happy home, my father was getting high in it. To get my dog off the case, I told him I did it. Real nigga, never fuck my niggas bitch. Could've got a personal narcotics, but in my heart I couldn't snitch. When I hit my biggest lick, I gave B a piece of that. I hate to see my brother struggle. I pray we make it off this rap. When Yus got shot, that was in front of my house. I went to take that ride with him on his first day out. Bullet hole still stitched, tears falling in the whip. He took a swig of Remy Martin, he pulled out and let it spit. Shit, for my kids I had to quit. On that dope, on that coke, I was a savage for a fix. If I was running with you, I could never leave you sick. When we got him for that rope, it felt like we had a break, yeah. Remember sitting in the county, first day on the unit, had the ops all around me. They asked where I'm from, first thought I should deny it. But the real thing to do is speak clear, never hide it. I was riding, narcotics, I supplied it. I still gave it to them if they ain't have enough to buy it. They look like they on a diet, went to war like Private Ryan. When Ung Dange died, I held his wife when she was crying, and I cried too. Seeing red like a pyro. Kamal died, Terry died, my father died too. And what did I do? Had to get my shit together. I'm planting seeds of greatness so we can live forever. Yeah. Be a real nigga. They ain't say nothing else, I'll be a real nigga. And when I'm dead and gone, I'll be a real nigga. Ask about me in them streets, they'll say a real nigga. Yeah. Be a real nigga. If they ain't say nothing else, I'll be a real nigga. And when I'm dead and gone, I'll be a real nigga. Ask about me in them streets, they'll say a real nigga.
Doper than a needle when my mother died. She went to prison, Toddy ain't sing me no lullaby. Said I could never sell drugs. Look what it did to my family. With crack money, bought this trip to Miami. I'm in the yams, cause the yams clicking my feet, cause them bitches is sandy. I'm called Pepper, know we gonna score if I get it to Randy. So don't respect me cause of this Brad. Respect me cause my merits. I ain't never say a word in them barracks. My cousin Eric got life, but he a fighter, I hear it. It's in the spirit, in the microwave, cussing the birds. Like a parrot, let us brag, but it ain't what I cherish. I'm from the terrace, where a nigga dump a clip in your ass. Cause he embarrassed all the customers I saw. All my runners with the law. When the pressure got too heavy, I was the one you niggas call. Cell cases, shell cases, man, I'm accustomed to it all. Feeling like I'm Pat Beverly, I hustle just a bar, shorty real. And that's how they gonna put it forever. Blame it on my crack cooking endeavors. I'm not the many, I'm the few that kept it true when I stood in the weather. And I'm the glue, cause we is broken, I put it together. Ain't no cracks in my story, it's just crack in my story. Will Smith, Chris Rock, all this smack in my story. I guess it's safe to say, it ain't safe to say. Don't ask me, ask God, I was made this way. Real nigga.
Yeah. Be a real nigga. They ain't say nothing else, I'll be a real nigga. And when I'm dead and gone, I'll be a real nigga. Ask about me in them streets, they'll say a real nigga. Yeah. Be a real nigga. If they ain't say nothing else, I'll be a real nigga. And when I'm dead and gone, I'll be a real nigga. Ask about me in them streets, they'll say a real nigga.
Word. You already know, guys. I appreciate it. It was a good one. You already know the marathon continues, baby. The W Number Live Marathon. Don't fucking forget it. It's going to be the fucking best fucking week of lives that ever fucking happened. And this is where you're going to come get it. Let's come chill every single fucking night. Tomorrow night's going to be just as fucking fire and way more lit. I think every night I'm going to step it up. I'm going to get a good guest. Like, I'm reaching out tonight. We're going to get a fire guest. We're going to have every night. Let's step it up a little bit. Even if we're just chilling, we're coming in here and we're going to chill together. This is the live marathon, the W Number Podcast.